to me on that day was, whatever I was till that moment, it just evaporated on that day. It's very difficult to explain how, but everything that I knew as myself simply crumbled and disappeared in a matter of few weeks. Everything about me changed so dramatically. If you look at my pictures before and after, you will see the very shape of my eyes changed, my voice changed dramatically. I had already, at the age of 15, 16, my voice had cracked and become mature, but my voice changed dramatically in a matter of 3 to 4 weeks' time. The shape of my eyes changed, my gait changed. I'm not trying to change anything. My whole body realigned itself. It's almost like a whole new human being came out, and that old person he's still there, but somewhere, remote guy. I still remember him, I like that guy, but he's far away.
When you were a young person, when you were a child, you were a pretty skeptical person, which is why religion…
Not pretty, absolutely skeptical.
You were a skeptic, so you were the skeptic to beat all skeptics. So formal religion did not appeal to you. When you narrate this personal experience of yours and your path to self-discovery, have you had skeptical reactions? And how do you react to those skeptics?
If people are not skeptical to what I say, because what I say is too fairy tale-ish, you must be skeptical.
A bit.
You should be, I'm saying, because I wouldn't believe this kind of nonsense if somebody had told me. What has happened in my life in the last 30 years is too fairy tale-ish for any sensible person to believe. I wouldn't believe such things if it had not happened to me. Not only what's happened within me, that is something that I can never articulate. Even what happens around me is too fairy tale-ish. It's difficult for anybody to believe. You will see if you come and see me in certain situations where the people are around, what's happening to them just because of my presence is something that you will not believe. You will think this is being created, this is being acted out. It is not being acted out, it will just happen. These days I know how to regulate myself, hold myself when I have to, let myself go when I have to. There was a time after these things happened to me, just walk into any place without knowing why, just everybody would burst into tears.
Today, how does your family see you? Because I believe you have a brother and a sister, you have a daughter. How does your family see you and how do you see them?
I have a very large family, a few million strong.
How does the conventional family, what regular people like me think of as family, see you and how do you see them?
I see them as important people in my life who played a significant role in my life in so many ways, but whatever contributions they've made to me. But I'm not particularly entangled with the family business because the bond of spirit is much stronger than the bond of blood. So I am bound by spirit to millions of people. And blood, not because of blood, because at a certain stage in your life, they played a significant role in your life. So for that, they're important to me.
But do you feel the same way about your daughter, who I believe is a young adult now?
Yes. I have too many daughters and sons. So she's also one of them, but she thinks she's my boss, but
Is she part of the foundation? Does she work with you?
No, she's a Bharatanatyam dancer. She's performing for the last 1 year.
And do I see pride in your eyes? Do I see pride in your eyes?
I'm glad she's dancing, not just trying to earn a living. I'm glad she chose something like that she did not choose to do something just for the sake of earning a living. That's something that I always put into her, don't ever bother about earning a living. Because even a worm and an insect can do it. Do something that you really care to do, something that you think is valuable. That's what you must do in your life, otherwise it simply means that you don't value your life. So she went to this, that, she thought she'll do this, she'll do that, then she invested herself in dance full-time. I took her off formal education after 10th standard. And she went into full-time dance for last 7 years or 8 years now. And now she's performing and she's very passionate about it, and I'm glad she's doing that.
I hate to bring this up, but I read it in my research where you're concerned, and that is that your late wife, there is this controversy about the way she died. Will you help me understand that a bit?
There is no controversy. It is just a few tabloids picked it up and did some rubbish, because we know why they did it now. And a few bloggers who have nothing else to do, they keep doing it. Absolutely no controversy because it happened in the presence of people, and it was a natural process. It is just that because you're in a public space, anybody can say anything. The law has not said anything, no legal entity has said anything. People who have nothing else to do, they keep commenting about it. She was like my shadow for 12 years. She lived as a part of my life in everything that I did. And this is a nation where there have been thousands of incidents where people have left their body consciously. It is the peak of yoga in many ways. So she announced that she will leave almost 9 months ahead of that time. And she even prepared my daughter, who was only 7 years of age. And many ways I tried to… because those 12 years we were traveling and traveling all the time together. So this was the time when we're just kind of beginning to settle down. I said, just now we're settling down, why now? So she said, right now everything within me and outside of me is perfect. This is the time I want to attain to this. And she started working towards it. I never thought she will make it so quickly. This is something everybody is working towards, that you must be able to conduct the most profound aspects of your life consciously, that includes your birth and your death. So that is not a simple factor, which unfortunately, that profoundness in the society is gone. So all kinds of people who have nothing else to do, they're commenting about it. There's absolutely no controversy. There were hundreds of people, a few thousand people attended the funeral, everything was there. They're just commenting without any basis. If anything like that was there, you think all these young people would be around me, supporting and making things happen?
When you say it's possible to prepare for death…
I did not say death.
What did you mean then?
Is it true that you gathered this body slowly over a period of time? Yes? You gathered it. Some people gather this body consciously, lot of people gather it unconsciously. If you had gathered it consciously, it would also be possible for you to drop it consciously. If you gathered it unconsciously and lived unconsciously, such a thing would look like an impossible thing for you. But if you gathered it consciously and you conducted it consciously, you could also keep it aside consciously. So, this is the very essence of the yogic process, and it's always been there in our cultures. Paramahamsa Yogananda sat in front of 700 people, announced that I'm leaving my body now, and he left. So, what do you think? It's suicide? That's what you will be accused of. If you can't accuse someone of suicide, then you will say it must be murder, okay? So this is just very silly ways of profound aspects of life being looked at by very gross people, very cross explanations for very profound nature of human existence here.
Do you think as a people, are we able to relate to these concepts that you've said we have instances of in history? Because while I understand what you're saying, or attempt to understand what you're saying at an intellectual level, at a visceral level, and I'm not talking about…
I understand.
So I'm just trying to figure out, can I choose to do this?
If you work for it, not going to come easy, but if you work for it, yes, every human being can. Can I live consciously? That's a question you're asking. Can you live consciously if you work upon it? Yes? If you live consciously, is death also an inevitable part of your life? Shedding this body also is an inevitable part of your life or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
If I can eat consciously, if I can sit consciously, if I can breathe consciously, if I can sleep consciously, is it also possible that I can keep my body aside consciously? Does it look like a possibility for you?
When you say it like this, yes, but when I think of it on myself, I'm not sure I can make that leap.
It is not a leap. If you…
Why then do so many people suffer with terminal illnesses and diseases? If you're saying that you can work towards making these conscious decisions, then why do we have the other instance? When people linger and linger and linger and are not able to make that break.
So when people are suffering something, if you tell them the truth, they won't be able to digest it. Let's not talk about that. What I would say is it true with you right now as you sit here that this body that you have gathered happened to you over a period of time? It is a accumulation. What you call as my body is just a piece of this planet. Whether you like it or not, one day you have to pay back. It's a loan from the planet, isn't it? So you've taken credit from Mother Earth. When the time to come back, you can either give back willingly or you can give back crying. You took loan from this planet. If you made something else out of it, when the time to give comes, you will give it consciously and joyfully and go. If you made nothing out of it, you will die miserably and you think that is normal. That is not normal. Just because you didn't make it, you think nobody can make it. This is the crown of ignorance. When people think, whatever I do not know cannot exist, this is the crown of ignorance. So all this controversy is because lot of people are wearing this crown of ignorance.